Welcome back to the Law Factor Live. Now, we're going to ask you to call in a moment, but of course we have Marcellus Joseph from BELFUND with us, and we want to get some more information in on there. But before we actually go directly to talk about BELFUND, Marcellus, what are your thoughts so far of what you've heard about our two young entrepreneurs tonight?
Well, honestly, these are two very interesting stories. I have heard JERMILE's story before, I think at the launching of the SLDB, where he was the guest speaker. But it was interesting to hear Kurt's story also. And actually, these are some of the stories that you hear with a lot of successful people. When the drive, the desire to, and the pains that they have to go through sometimes to get into their business. And it's one thing I always say to people, it's not easy getting into business, and it's not easy staying in business. You have to be prepared to work hard, and you have heard it from both men. You have to be committed. You have to be a go-getter. JERMILE puts it as you have to be hungry, and maybe that's another way of looking at it. But you have to stick to it. Sparrow usually says stick-to-itiveness. Mm-hmm. It's not something that you can just step in and become a millionaire overnight. And that's what a lot of people in St. Lucia think, that I go into a business today and by next week I should be making a lot of money. But you have... Seriously,
people think that?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
You have to be prepared to work hard. You have to be prepared to forego your holidays. In some instances, you have to be prepared to forego breaks and some of those things, because, once you're a business person, you're on call 24 hours, literally. Mm-hmm. I agree with what you said earlier, where you need to take that time off, because without your health, then you cannot operate a business. That is true. But when you're starting off, you're more or less working like 48-hour days, not 24, but 48. Mm. So, it is something that you really have to give it your all. And you have to be prepared to put in what it takes to make your business succeed.
Okay, now tell us about BELFUND.
Well, the BELFUND was established by the government of St. Lucia in 2000, and the purpose is to assist the poor, deprived, unemployed St. Lucian micro-entrepreneur who want to establish their businesses to be able to help themselves and their families. You will understand, because of the social status of some of those people, they cannot go to the commercial banks or any of those other financial entities. And that's what the BELFUND is there to assist persons with. And all you need to come to the BELFUND literally is a business idea. So you have that idea, you come and discuss that idea with us, and if we think it has potential, we'll sit with you and try to develop that idea into a business. Mm-hmm. I've heard persons say to me that the BELFUND is too good to be true. Well, let me say this. 13 years on, we are real. We have helped in excess of 700 persons, and we will continue to do so as long as we have the funding to, and as long as St. Lucians who do not have the means show an interest in wanting to start their businesses to try to help themselves financially.
Is there an age limit for people you help?
Well, I always say my oldest client is 72 years old. We start from 18, and you'll understand 18, that's the legal age where you can sign your legal documents and get into anything of that nature. Mm-hmm. But no, what we would probably do with an older client is try to pair them with a member of their family, a younger member of their family. One, to ensure continuity, and two, to ensure that the business survives, because you'll understand at 70 plus, we cannot always do the things that we did once. And if the younger person is involved, then they might be able to do the running around and all those things to get the business going. I recall that we had an old client, and he was disabled, and we had to assist him in many ways. For example, purchasing stock, getting stuff done for him, and that kind of thing. But if with a younger person from the family, it would be a lot easier to get some of those things done.
Okay, I have more questions for you, but I'm actually going to open the phone lines now, because I'm realizing that we're running out of time. I do know we have lots of questions here for people who have sent us questions before the program, but if you are sitting there thinking, I have a question and I want to ask it, then I'm going to keep the phone lines open now for just a short while, really, so please make sure that you call. But Marcellus, tell us very quickly, if someone comes in with an idea, how are you likely to help them? It's one thing saying we will help you, but they want to know, how is it you're going to help them?
Okay, I mean, the most important thing is coming into the BELFUND to discuss that idea with one of our officers. If we believe the idea has potential, we are going to provide you with some documentation, and you in addition would have to get some additional documentation. For example, open bills, health certificates if necessary, accreditation from the San Lucia Bureau of Standards if you're going into food preparation and the likes. And thereafter, once you would have gotten all your documentation together, then you come into us at the BELFUND. I must say too that we conduct site visits to ensure that the business that you're trying to enter into, that you're not going into a situation that is too competitive. We have a situation in St. Lucia where persons see other people involved in business areas and they jump in because they believe money is being made, only to find that 2-3 months later they have to close down because they're not making the money that they thought. So we want to establish viable businesses. It's about establishing viable businesses because that's the only way that business will be able to pay you a salary, will probably be able to pay your loan, and assist you in and be able to help you to buy stock and get that business on a sustainable path.
Okay, let me just stop you there because we have our first caller. Hello, welcome to Dulor Fighter Live. Thank you for calling. Oh, we left them a little bit too long. I'm sorry, I was just waiting for Marcellus to complete there. So if you'd like to call back, I'll get you back on the line as soon as possible. All right, so Marcellus, that's a lot going on, but you assist people every step of the way, because I think a lot of people are worried, especially when it comes to filling in forms. Not many of us like to fill in forms, and especially if we get to a certain age, we normally pass it on to somebody younger to do anyway. So you're saying that you will help every step of the way, but of course, you have to have the enthusiasm to do some yourself, because I'm sure you're watching people's characters, people's application, and things like that. Yes. Anything else that you're looking for when you decide that, okay, then you're making sure that the idea is, okay, we got our caller back. So, hello, thank you for calling back. This is Dulor Factor Live. Good night.
Hello, Mr. Dulor.
Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Marcellus. Hello.
Hello. He said good evening to you.
I was planning on opening a small business, like a wholesale business. So, Maxine, that will be a good idea.
He wants to open a small wholesale business. Would it be a good idea?
Well, I'm not able to tell you whether it's a good idea unless we see where it is that you're looking to establish a wholesale business. Let me say too that the profit on wholesale businesses as low as probably between 5 and 7%. So you have to be turning around a lot of goods to be able to make that profit. It's something where it has to be quick turnover, and so that you can make the profit margins that you're looking at. But in the event that it is in an area where we do not have any other wholesale sale businesses, it is probably something we can consider.
All right, so can you tell the gentleman where he can find you?
The BELFUND is located downstairs the Labor Department building that is in San Souci. We are on the ground floor. Our telephone number is 451-6069 or 451-8858.
So then I say I can call and make an appointment?
You do not need an appointment for your first interview. You can just show up. We are open from 8 to 4:30 and ask to speak with an officer.
Okay, so thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
And thank you for your call. If you have any other calls, viewers, then please do so now. We haven't got that much time. But anything at all that you feel that you need to ask, just we're here for you now. When we've gone, we're kind of gone, although we do actually respond to your questions off air. All right. Now, BELFUND has done this for quite a while. I mean, in terms of finance, is there a capital in terms of this is the maximum we will borrow someone to start up? Yes,
because we're looking at establishing micro businesses. Huh? Our maximum loan was recently increased from $20,000 to $30,000 because what $20,000 did 10, 12 years ago, it cannot do it today. So we have increased to $30,000. And our minimum loan is $500, and we're looking at persons who probably may want to establish a vending tray or something of that sort. So we range from as low as $500 to a maximum of $30,000.
And how and when is that paid back?
Persons have between 1 to 4 and possibly 5 years to pay back that loan.
Okay. Why do you think not everyone knows about BELFUND?
Yeah, this is something strange because we have done a lot of promotions over the years, although over the last 2 we have cut back on the number of promotions, but we've gone into almost every community in St. Lucia to try to promote the BELFUND. We have had a number of documentaries running on TV. We have done a number of radio and television advertisements. We have done stuff in the newspapers. But yes, you will always find areas where persons will say that they do not know about BELFUND. But surprisingly too, there are places where people know about BELFUND, but they will tell you that they choose to do nothing about it.
Wow. Okay, now let me ask a question, but Jamal, you can respond to this as well. We all know about the hard economic times. I mean, is it really a good time to think about starting a business?
If I may, before Jamal gets in, the Chinese word for depression, I think, is opportunity. I'm not sure how they say it, you know, but it's opportunity.
Let me just stop you right there to take a call.
Okay.
Hello, thank you for calling to Law Factor.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
It was interesting what Mr. Joseph said, that BELFUND is not better known, and I consider that to be a failed business model, because if you've been around so long and you're practically giving away money and yet people don't know about you, it means that you're doing something wrong. So maybe they need to go back to business school, seriously, and asking for me whether BELFUND is still only equipped. What I find is they give loans for all types of businesses, but they could only help people who have wholesale, vending trays, tea boutique kind of operations, and they're not equipped to help people with other business models. And a lot of their, to me, a lot of their stuff fails. The best business model, advertising is word of mouth. If you're so good, then your clients should have told other people. You should be ready. You should have built your client base right now that you could not even handle what you're getting. But why is it that you're still saying after so many years people are not knocking down your door and you're practically giving away free money? So it seems to me that BELFUND is failing somewhere very, very critically. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph.
Let me say we're not giving free money. And let me say this too. We lack the entrepreneurial culture in St. Lucia. 2, St. Lucians are afraid of going into business because of fear of failure. You have persons who will discourage, as Kurt pointed out earlier, you have persons who discourage a lot of people from going into business. We have also persons who have said to me on a number of occasions in different parts of the country that they would prefer to work for somebody as opposed to going into business for themselves. St. Lucians do not necessarily see business as their way out. A lot of times people go into business, they see it as just a means of survival. It's a last resort. They could not find anything else to do, so they jump in.
Yes.
It's very rare that you will get those talented persons who want to jump in. I mean, you get them, but you know, they're few and far between.
All right, let me just stop you there, just because the calls are coming through and I want to hear what our viewers are thinking. Thank you for holding. You're live on Law Factor Live.
Hello?
Hello.
Can I put a question to Delia, please?
Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to find out if there is any sort of like government scheme to help people get started in business.
Okay. All right, we'll ask that for you.
Can you answer for me?
Well, we can ask for you, okay?
Okay.
I can't answer that specifically, but Mr. Joseph can. But thank you for your call.
Yeah, who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Delia.
Am I speaking to Delia?
Yes, you are.
Yes, Chris. My name's Chris.
All right then. Well, Chris, I'm going to... Well, Mr. Joseph, you heard that question, so let's see if you can respond to that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The St. Lucia Development Bank, there is the BELFUND, there is the Small Enterprise Development Unit, which is SEDU. There's the Office of Private Sector Relations. These are all areas that persons can get information, get assistance in some, you know, to be able to establish their businesses. I mean, Jamal also mentioned the Youth Enterprise Equity Fund. You know, and the BELFUND is currently running 2 youth programs, which is the Caribbean Youth Empowerment Program and the Youth Enterprise Development Fund, and these are geared towards youth between the ages of 18 to 25 on the one hand and 18 to 35. The whole intention there is to train a cadre of young entrepreneurs who may want to go into business whether now or later. because it's about developing the entrepreneurial spirit that we lack in this country.
Okay. Well said. I know a lot of people will be thinking, okay, but unfortunately we're kind of quickly running out of time. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back, I'm going to invite our guests to give us a synopsis of where we should be going after this, really. So stay with The Law Factor Live on DBS. We'll be right back.